Morning you guys, it's Karen and I wanted to do a doggy favourites for 2015 because obviously we got Watson on the 10th of January, so he is now 14 months, just turned 14 months on Tuesday, and this Sunday come in we will have had him exactly a year. So I've had him a year. I have discovered so many things, probably more than I'm going to tell you about here. I'm racking my brains to try and think, and also I don't want to tell you about every single thing because I don't know, the video will be really long, and if I do remember anything, I'll mention it in an honourable mention at the end, or things I can't show you. Like, I know one thing I'm going to mention at the end. But I have got things to eat, things for grooming, things for keeping the house clean, things for giving him tablets. There's quite a bunch of stuff here, and in fact, shall I put my hair behind my ear so that it doesn't get in the way? You know what, I might get a clip for it. Okay, to begin, I'll begin on food. I don't have anything here for his main food to talk about because we've changed so many things, and Watson is like super fussy, and I have been through every kibble I can think of. Literally, I bet you if you mention it, I've tried it. I've talked to people and they've mentioned a kibble, I've gone, tried it, doesn't like it. I know that he would probably like it if we pushed him into it. I've talked about that before. There's reasons why we don't do that. Anyway, I don't have a main food, but there are 4 things here that I have used for training treats and for treats that I think are really good. The first one is this. These are just a lifesaver for me. They are the Billy and Margot venison marrow bones for dogs. I love everything about them. I love the fact that they are healthy because it's just 100% air-dried wild British venison. I know that not everybody agrees with bones. We do supervise him very well when he's eating bones. There's a lot of things that will go unsaid in this video, but that of course I do. Like, of course I do supervise him and I take away little bits that fall off and that kind of thing. But again, those of you that know me will know that Watson is hugely excitable and high energy, and this keeps him quiet for a good hour. But it also seems to it settles him down for the night. We give him one of these at night, and actually the reason we started doing it was so that we could have snacks and he wasn't like looking at us to get snacks. And so we get snacks, he gets a little snack. And like I said, it just seems the action of chewing, and I know that eating releases hormones that make them settled anyway, but I think the action of chewing as well is just something that seems to settle him down, and they're lovely. The only thing is they're really hard to get hold of and they're pretty expensive. I say pretty expensive, I think you can get them for about £4.99, sometimes about £4.50 per packet, and they've got normally 2, sometimes 3 bones in it. I prefer when there's 2 because it's 2 really juicy bones, or you get 3 not so juicy bones that don't last as long. So that makes it £2.50 a bone, which if you're using them the minute he goes through one a day is very expensive. Most of his treats are these. This is what we use for training treats. They are the WAG training treats. They're just little bows. There's no added sugar in these, which is what I like. They do have cereal in them, so if you want your dog on a grain-free, cereal-free type diet, I don't think that these would be cereal-free. I haven't checked, but I'm pretty sure they've got wheat in them. Yeah, wheat, beef meal, glycerin, poultry meal, lamb meal, fat, yogurt, whey powder, minerals. They're actually not too bad ingredients, and he just loves these. And like I said, for such a fussy little boy, he doesn't like biscuits, won't eat any biscuits, but these are kind of a combination between a biscuit and something really, really soft, so that he does chew them for a minute. You know, it's not one of those, you know how dogs don't really chew stuff, do they? You can give him something and you go, he seems to just chew it once and swallow it, you know, he's not really into the chewing of his food. But these he does seem to chew. So we use these bows, break them in half. He gets them for like lead training when he's out on a walk, for staying beside us and training at home, and he loves them. And they're £1 from Pets at Home, so they're really good value. Then when I'm going out, they're not very highly, they don't smell very much. So when I'm going out and leaving Watson, I can now leave him for probably 2 hours. I've never left him for that long. We wouldn't want to leave him for more than 2 hours personally, just because, again, for many reasons, mostly to do with his energy. But we're now at a point where we can leave him and he makes no fuss at all. And it's been a long, hard road to get there, as you guys know, because I think I even showed you guys footage. He was screaming and biting his crate. He was then behind the gate and he was screaming and trying to jump over, throwing himself at the gate. He had very, very bad separation anxiety. We've now worked very hard to get past that, and he's delighted when I leave, and it's because of that trainer that we had out, and he taught us how to do a game where we've already taught Watson find it, and so we'll hide little bits of food like on the skirting boards and whatnot while he's waiting in another room, and we train him to stay, and then we say find it, and he searches around for the food. So what we do is I get him to stay in the kitchen before I go, and I'll put little treats around the skirting boards in the hall, or in his crate or in a little boxes, and I say find it, and then he's excited that I'm leaving because he gets some treats. And this is what I use for them, is the point I'm getting to. Now I've ripped them all into their little sections, but I've not even got 3 that match up, but they're basically cat treats, and they're called Asda Tiger. And it was the trainer that bought something like this, and he said the cat treats are actually very good because they're very, very soft. Like this, when you tear it open, it's just a soft strip, but it's very thin because it's for cats, and that means that you're not giving them too much. I can rip tiny little bits off and put it all around the hall, and I usually only use 1 or maximum 2 strips when I'm going out, and they're really strong smelling as well. These ones are lamb flavour. You can get them in lamb, salmon, I think beef and chicken, but he likes lamb, venison, duck. He's a high class puppy. So these are the lamb ones, and I've just loved those. These 2 and the venison bones, as long as I can afford it, I will make sure I always have these 3 in. Treat, if you like, are these, and they are the Zealandia ribbies, and these are a little bit controversial between Kev and I, just because I think Kev might be right though. I think that these might be causing Watson a bit of a tummy trouble. It says promotes fresh breath, supports oral health, ethically sourced, high in protein, low in fat, great as a reward or snack. They're rib bones. They are air dried veal spare ribs, and so again they're very healthy, but they are bones, and I'll show you what they're like. I'll never get it back in again. That's what they look like, and he can just devour this whole thing, but it does take him, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. It's not an instant thing, maybe 5 minutes, but they're good for their teeth. I like the fact that they're getting something really crunchy and, you know, teeth cleaning, and they're healthy. The only thing is, because they are hard bones, I think that they might irritate Watson's colitis, because he has this chronic colitis. He's in a flare-up at the moment, and he hasn't had any of these, but Kev thinks he's seen a pattern where he's eaten one of these, and he thinks he sees it the following day, so we're going to have to be very careful of these. But if there's no tummy problems, these are absolutely brilliant. Love them. Everything for food, other than I did just want to show you this, which is, it's not a good looking contraption. It is a raised bowl, and you can raise it higher with this knob here. His 2 little silver bowls go in here, and I bought this because he just looked like it looked awkward when he was eating, when his bowl was on the floor, you know, he was leaning right down to it. And he's got quite big now. He's 20 inches tall, is our Watson, so he's more of a medium size than he is the miniature that he was supposed to be, which we're completely happy with, but it looked awkward. Again, Kev didn't actually agree. It's funny, it's one of those things that Kev didn't agree with, but when we got this in, he was like, you know what, he does look it looks much more normal. There is a problem with dogs, as you probably know, with bloat. I think it's a lot more prevalent in bigger dogs, and it's a lot more prevalent in dogs that wolf their food down. Watson can be known to wolf his food down though, but he tends to eat it in bits, like he'll eat some and then he'll go away and come back. But other times, like I said, he does wolf it down. I have had to buy like slow bowls and things for him at times where he was wolfing his food down. Unfortunately, the food he likes doesn't like his tummy, but there you go. Anyway, so the other thing is he plays immediately after he's eaten. He wants to play and run and all of that. So I just wanted to do anything I could to avoid this bloat, and also to make it more comfortable for him eating. And like I said, he does look a lot more comfortable. I wish I could find a better designed one, but the ones that I can find online are either crazy expensive, like a couple of £100, or they're not tall enough, because I do want it to be quite tall, and a lot of the raised bowls are like that, you know, they're only a little bit off the floor. So I don't know, but I can see me in the future buying something else that looks a bit nicer, but that is in the kitchen now. We had it in the hall and it wasn't really working. You can buy it with different size bowls, by the way, and that's the other thing we wanted. I don't know, there's a few inconveniences from it, because we wanted to leave his food in the hall. That's in the kitchen because of the way it looks, but overall I'm really pleased with it. Okay, should we talk about health? And I'll show you, these are a recent discovery, but I love them so much I've ordered more of them. They're called pill pockets, and they are brilliant. I have had to give Watson a lot of pills, bless him, over the last year, and I'm not saying that you need to buy something for it, because there are many ways of giving dogs pills. We have used corned beef, and I kind of mush it into a ball. I normally use cheese and mush it into a ball. I know that a lot of people just put the pill at the back of the throat and close their mouth. I don't like doing that. I wouldn't too much protest to Kev doing it. You'd think I would actually, because it happened to me as a child and it's just hideous, and that's probably why I can't swallow pills now. But I think that it's okay because they seem to get over things very quickly and they're more resilient than humans, I believe. But I couldn't do it to Watson. Anyway, I give him pills in here because I keep his calming medication in here to remind me to give it to him. It's the Maxi Calm I give him, which is a chewable tablet, and that's fine. But I also give him valerian and skullcap, and that one is not one that you can chew. And it's just a pain to have to go all the way to the kitchen to get some corned beef. My kitchen's quite a long way up there, you know. And I don't always want to give him that if he's got an upset tummy. Not that these are great for you, but I don't necessarily want to give him something that rich. So these are with real peanut butter. You can get all different flavours. Let's see what the ingredients are. So it's chicken, glycerin. See, I tried to avoid chicken for Watson, but we're not 100%. We don't 100% exclude it. It seems to be able to tolerate a little bit of chicken. This has got rehydrated chicken, glycerin, wheat flour, wheat gluten, peanut butter, dried cultured skimmed milk, peanut oil, vegetable oil, natural flavours, xanthan gum, which is fine, and some rosemary extract and some vitamin E. So actually pretty good ingredients, and this is what they look like. Now I had seen these advertised. I'd seen them on Amazon a few times and been tempted to buy them, and I just thought, oh no, because once I get them then I'll need to keep on getting them in. And I actually thought they were hard. I thought they were solid. And I thought you just put the pill in there and then they sort of chewed on it, but it's not. It's actually very malleable. So what I'll do, in fact, I'll get one prepared at daycare, and when he comes back, I shall give him, look, it's in a MAC container, but it's just, I couldn't open the top of the container that these were in. This is the valerian tablets, and they look like that. And so you push it in there. Now you can use it with a capsule if you're using it with a capsule, because I've got capsules as well. I haven't actually tried it with that. You would put it like that, so you'll join them together. But you see how it sits in there, and I thought that's how it was going to work, and I thought that's no good, but you can actually mould it. So I then just mould it around it, and I even thought then there's not that much around it, he's going to just chew and spit the tablet out, and he has very occasionally done that. He'll take it in. It's normally if I haven't evenly squished it, if you know what I mean, and I'll just see this tablet come out and he eats this, but that's only happened a couple of times since having these. So I've ordered a whole bunch more of these because I think they're absolutely brilliant. So that's useful to you if you're trying to get tablets into your dog. We're on health. I have to show these slippery elm. They're absolutely brilliant. I tried, was it psyllium I was using for him? Oh god damn, it was awful, and it didn't. I could be really graphic, but I'm not going to, but it didn't do what I needed it to. Yes, it sort of firms them up, but not, I don't feel like it worked for us, let's just say that. It just was unpleasant. I wanted something, this was when Watson had colitis, or he has colitis and it flares up and then it goes away, but we have to be very careful what we give him. Like I said, we don't give him chicken. There's certain things now we don't give him at all. I think rawhide is one of the things that's making his tummy flare up. But when it does, and also when he goes to daycare, because I don't know whether he gets too many gravy bones. He's fine with gravy bones, but he seems to have an upset tummy when he comes back from there. I like to add a couple of these into his food, but I just open the capsule because this is it has no odour or taste. You can just sprinkle it into their food. I put 2 of these into his food the night before he goes to daycare. So last night I did. This morning I mixed the powder in with his kibble. You don't even need water. You can just mix it in with the kibble. It doesn't taste of anything. It doesn't stop him eating his food. And then again when he comes home tonight, I'll put some in his dinner. And it doesn't work immediately. It definitely takes a few days, but this is more, I suppose, psychological for me as well, because it's supposed to be like a bandage for the intestines. It coats them and it stops any pain. And dogs are very good at covering up whether they're in pain or not, but the vet has told me that colitis is very, very painful. So I really want to do something when I know he's going to have an irritated tummy from whatever it is that happens at this daycare, because I do only give him gravy bones. I want to make sure I've given him some protection, so I just love those. Things for health, you'll think these are really weird, but I do want to tell you about them in case you can still get them in the sale at Pets at Home. It's these socks. You've probably seen them in my videos. I've got 4 obviously, and they're Christmas socks, but I see yesterday in Pets at Home they've got a sale on of all the Christmas stuff. So see if you can maybe get hold of them, and if not, if I can find anything like it on Amazon, I will link it for you. But these have just been a godsend, because when Watson is gnawing his paws, for those of you that don't know, he has an allergy, and we've only in the last couple of days we've found out 100% it's dust, yeast and storage mites that he's allergic to, so he's getting immunotherapy. But these socks, on days where he's not crazy gnawing them, where he's just having a little nibble, I can put one of these socks on, and because you can see how small the hole is, it's quite tight, but not tight. It doesn't cut off circulation. It doesn't make any, you know, I've checked his leg afterwards. It doesn't make any imprint of him. It's tight enough that he doesn't try too hard to get it off. He has occasionally got it off. When the gnawing is really bad, he will pull them off, and I then give him an Apoquel, or I put coconut oil on his paws. Actually, coconut oil is another of my favourites, so I knew there'd be other things. But these have been great. So if you can still get them, I would say get them if you're having any gnawing, poor gnawing problems. And the next thing is, I wanted to tell you about this, not so much that it's a favourite, but I'm pretty sure it will be. But I only got this 2 days ago, and I used it once last night and once this morning. It's called Clorets Edome, and we went to see a vet specialist for his second lot of allergy testing. I've been using Malaseb, which has been great, but Malaseb is 2% chlorhexidine. Is it chlorhexidine? Something like that. And you've got one called Microbex, which is 3%, and then you've got this new one, which is 4% in a shampoo. And I've got the new shampoo. It means that you don't need to leave it on them for so long for any kind of yeast allergies that your dogs may have. But it now comes in a spray. The whole year I was using Malaseb, not the whole year, the whole months, because we only got it in August, and I thought it was brilliant. But I kept saying to Kev, I wish there was a spray, because I don't want to have to wash the whole of him just to get his paws. And I did try sitting and washing his paws over the sink, over the bathroom sink, and it just wasn't working out. He was just too awkward and thrashing about. He doesn't like it. It was easier to put him in the bath. Then because I'm using the shower, it'd get all of him wet. I ended up washing him anyway. I said, I wish I had something I could spray. Ooh, that was my mini trampoline. It's a lot bigger than I thought. Oh my God. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, I was always saying I wish there was a spray, because then I could just spray his paws and that's all I'd need to do. You know, I don't need to then wash him again, because I don't want to wash him more than once a week, because it's not great for their fur. And once a week is what we've been told to wash him. Anyway, there's now a spray, and I wanted to let you guys know so that you could go and ask for it at your vets if you're having the same issues as me, because I know a few of you are using Microbex and have the same issues. So it's called Clorets Edome. And yeah, I think it's worth getting that, because like I said, I have used it yesterday and today, and it did stop him gnawing his paw. The only thing is, it's very bitter tasting, so I don't know whether it's stopping it because it's soothing it, or just that he doesn't want the taste. That kind of bothers me a bit, because I don't know that it's working. But then if it is the yeast that's making him itch, it will have stopped it. If it's the dust mites, it's just that he doesn't like the taste. But either way, he's not gnawing his paws. Okay, let's do a couple of things for walking. That's everything for health, I think. Yes, I'm sure there's other things I use. Like I said, coconut oil is brilliant, both internally and on the paws as well. But walking, I mentioned this, I think, in I did a doggy favourites recently, or a doggy haul or something like that, and I mentioned this. I have just loved it. It's absolutely brilliant. It is, in fact I switched the lights out, do you remember, and showed you. This lights up, it's not just reflective, it's actually got a light in it. You switch it on here, but I don't think you'll be able to see it. In fact, you know, I've done that, and now I'm not going to know if it's off or not. Just went in the hall in the dark to make sure it was off. But it's got two light up bits, so it's like across their back and across their front. And this is the other thing that where I said to Kev, oh, we need to get something, and he didn't think we needed it, but I got it, used it, and he uses it most of the time, because he does the majority of the walks, and he thinks it's absolutely brilliant. He's like, because he wasn't intending to let him off when it was dark, but he has occasionally met, like last night, he met his friend Dobby, who's a greyhound, not a greyhound, a whippet, and they had a great play in the park. And because of course it was dark, he was able to see him. He said it's really funny because Dobby's got one as well, and you can see these two running around, but you can still see them. But even without that, he said, when I'm out walking, you know, and he gets to a dark bit, he can see which side Watson's on, because Watson tends to, I don't know why he does it, but he's constantly crossing in front of you, and he'll either go in front or behind, and then you can see. And Kev says, because I accidentally trodden him a few times, so it's quite handy. So love that. Really good money, really good value for money as well. It's about $12.99 or something like that from Pets at Home. Then this next thing, I bought one for Kev, and he is mocking me and saying he's not going to wear it, which I just think is foolish of him. But he's kind of, I don't know, it takes a while to come around to things sometimes, because I remember he wears jogging pants now. I got him from Superdry, and he used to only wear jeans, and then he was like, oh no, I'm not wearing them, they're too kind of slouchy. And then I got him a pair, and he wore them, and he's like, oh, these are so comfortable. He loves them. Same with flip-flops, things like that. Anyway, I call it my poo hat. It's just a beanie with a light on the front. And it's brilliant. Like it's just got a little clip, so you just sort of rip out. I'm at the wrong end, but you just sort of reach up and put the hat on. Look at that. So why is it so good? Because when you're out walking a dog in the dark, you need a torch or something to find where they poop, to pick up the poop. But it also means I can see where I'm going more, and I can see what he's sniffing on the grass, whether he's sniffing or eating something. So it's absolutely brilliant. You can sort of pull the hat down a bit to point it, and it's actually quite strong. And I was in the park a couple of days ago, and I met this guy who's actually an ex-professional rugby player, who knows Kev, who used to play rugby with him at his posh school years ago. So I told Kev I'd met him, and I said to him, he was asking me where I got my hat. So, you know, it's not so terrible after all, because Kev just thinks it's a gimmick, you know, but it's actually really useful. And again, this is an Amazon purchase, so I will link that below for you. Other things. Firstly, I just wanted to show you these shoes because they're really, really good value for money on Amazon, but it depends on what size you are and whether you can get your size. I paid, it's bizarre, I paid £60 for them and got a size 6, and then the 6 was too small because I am a size 6, but I put my orthotics in. I've got super feet in these, they're brilliant. And the left one of the 6 was too small, I could feel my toe at the end, so I sent them back and ordered a 6. But the 6 was with another company on Amazon, and they were actually £10 cheaper, so I've got a £10 refund for getting a 6.5. The 6.5 now, the left one is perfect, but the right one is a bit big, but that's okay. I can just put really thick socks on and it'll be fine. But these are called Hagloffs, and they are waterproof walking shoes. And I think it's very rare that you get black walking shoes. And, you know, those of you, again, that are walking your dogs and have been like us in Scotland, where the rain is just not stopping. It's like constant. So even when it's not raining, it's like it's not going 2 days without rain, and so the ground is always wet. And so walking with these is just brilliant because then I don't get wet feet. So I'll link those for you. And the final thing for walking is this. It's my Kipling bag. You may remember I've got a little Kipling, what I call a walking bag, but it was getting a bit of a pain because what would happen is I'd have to move things out of my handbag into my other bag that I'd needed. Because every time I went out, I was like, oh, damn it, I've got no lip balm on me, or oh, I haven't got my nasal spray, or I haven't got chewing gum, I haven't got tissues, or, you know, there's lots of things that I didn't have. And then also things like when we went out walking at the weekend, I wanted to have the things from my handbag, but I also wanted a bottle of water and for Watson and things like that. So I wanted a bag that I could combine as my handbag and a walking bag, and this is what does it. So if I'm ever going anywhere posh, I'll switch back to my Michael Kors bag. I don't know. I'm actually thinking of selling that and buying another bag that's a bit smaller and a bit more sort of boxy. But anyway, that's another story. But this is brilliant. I can't remember the name of it, but it looks like a huge rucksack. It's not a huge rucksack. It's not as big as my normal rucksack, but it's just brilliant. It's got so many pockets, and then I keep this one as my sort of doggy pocket. So it's got Watson's water, it's got a little bowl so I can give him the water, it's got some treats, it's got his ball, you know, and that's just my doggy pocket, and it's brilliant. Just remembered that I didn't mention in the food bit is frozen yogurt has been great for Watson. Again, it depends on whether your dog can tolerate dairy, because some of them are better with goat's milk and goat's yogurt and that, but Watson's actually okay. We don't ever give him a whole pot of yogurt, but when I finish my little natural Year Valley yogurt, which has no added sugar, I put it in the freezer, and Kev's the same, and that just keeps him occupied. We give him that while we're having dinner. He just gets a little yogurt pot with a little bit of those frozen yogurt left in it to play with. So just another idea. So we've got grooming and keeping the house clean, which isn't easy, is it? So grooming, there's a couple of things I wanted to tell you about, and the first one is this called Scaredy Cut. This is just brilliant. If you want to do any kind of trimming of your dog in between grooms, or you want to do the whole cut yourself, these are brilliant. So they're called Scaredy Cut, they're from Amazon, and they come with all of these attachments depending on the length you want. Oops. There's loads, I think there's 5, 6 there, at least 6 attachments. I've got, this one is the shortest one, and so what you do is you just hold them like this and you comb through the fur, and then you just chop like that, and it just makes it easier to not make an arse of it, basically. I don't do his whole cut. I don't feel confident enough to do it, and not only that, it would take forever with scissors. Oh my god. Is that much time gone past? Yeah. Love that video.
Yeah.
Love it. So cute. She's like, you talk about me winding him up.
Yeah.
Hi. And I was like, bloody hell, she's going to get him really wound up, isn't she? No wonder he's wound up when he left if they're all like that. He was like jumping up at the side. Yeah. I'd never seen that bit.
Oh, that's just at the gate. It kind of goes up
before you go in.
Just as you go in, but it's just on the right.
Ah, right.
I was at the gate trying to get it undone, and he was like, because the steps to the place go up the outside of the building, just there. So he's obviously running along at the side.
Let me in. How did it look, rained?
All right today.
Cool. I know it looks like bombs at it, doesn't it? Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah. Just a small bouncer.
I know. It's big, isn't it? Hopefully it's not that big. And that's just the box.
Hopefully. Okay, Dan.
I wasn't even done a video today.
And all of a sudden?
I know, well, I was too impatient to use my TK Maxx stuff.
What have you been doing?
No, stuff I bought yesterday.
Ah, right.
And so I wanted to do a haul, and then I thought, well, I might as well do my dog favourites while he's not here. What are you looking at?
You know what?
That's a favourite!
Oh, see.
Sorry about that little disturbance there. That was Kev coming in, who gave me a fright, and I'll leave it in so you can hear instead of me telling you. Anyway, what was I saying? Scaredy cut scissors. Yeah, I'm not brave enough to do the whole thing myself. I know what I was saying. I'd have to have some kind of harness to hold him, and I have got one on my wish list, on my Amazon wish list, because I'm thinking about getting one so that I think it clips to a table, and I could clip it to my coffee table, possibly my dining table, though I'm worried it would damage it because I've got a good dining table. And then I could at least maybe hold him a bit still. I don't know, I just feel like it's better for him if he has the whole thing done by a professional. But this is great for little, like when his paws, the hair gets too long and I worry about him like tripping over it or getting mats in it, and that I use these. They're absolutely brilliant. Two other grooming things, these two. This is called the While Detangler, and it's a coat detangler. It says it's an ultimate tangle-free leave-in conditioner. This is more than a leave-in conditioner. I've tried different sprays over the year because Watson has got wavy fleece coat, and it does get matted. I comb it every few days, and especially behind his ear. The other day I'd left it 3 days, combed behind his ears, and I got about 3 or 4 mats out, little tiny fur balls. And it's not very pleasant for him. When you're combing it, if you spray this on it, it's like magic. It's like you comb it through, and you can just get your comb through it, and none of the other leave-in conditioning sprays or detanglers. I bought one that was called a detangler and it didn't do anything. This one you spray on, there's hardly anything left. In fact, I need to order some more of this. This one you spray it on and it does just seem to take that tangle away. It's absolutely brilliant. So I wouldn't be without this. It's another one of those that wouldn't be without products. And then the other thing I wouldn't be without is this, and this is the Bumble and Bumble BB Defrizz for humans, for human hair. And I told the doggy dermatologist about this, expecting to get told off and that this wasn't any good for him. But I'd written down the ingredients and showed it to him, and he said it's absolutely fine. And I thought it was, because this is the only serum I can find that doesn't have fragrance in it. So because we're washing Watson at least once a week, we schedule washing him once a week. If he rolls in fishy water or a poop or something, we wash it more than that. It's actually not very good for his skin and for his coat, because they're only supposed to be washed like every 6 months. You're supposed to just brush dirt out of them. But because he's on this antifungal shampoo, he has to be washed a lot. So afterwards, I spray him with this glycerin spray sometimes. I think it's called Humalac, I think that's what it's called. But then I use this. I don't use this straight after the bath. I wait until he's dry, and I put a little bit in, rub it in my hands, and I put it all over him. This is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Every other serum I've tried, because again, I've tried many serums and that kind of thing. Everything else that had a fragrance he would run away from. This doesn't have a fragrance, so he doesn't run away from it, firstly. But everything else would leave a greasy residue, because I actually used to use coconut oil and it leaves a greasy residue and he feels greasy. This doesn't. It sinks in, and about an hour after putting this on, his fur just feels like silk. It's absolutely amazing. I wouldn't say that this necessarily makes it easier to comb through. I'm just really conditioning his fur, but it makes it soft, and I don't know, maybe it is easier to comb through because it's not quite as coarse, you know, so love that, and again, wouldn't be without that. Okay, so things to keep the house clean. I've only got 2 things to talk about here, but there is another 2 that I said I'd mention, but I'm not going to bring them through and show you. One is my Vax. If you have been thinking about getting a Vax carpet cleaner and you have dogs and you're intending on keeping your carpets, oh my goodness, I would 100% go for it. We hope when the whole job situation resolves itself to get wooden floors down, because Watson has definitely got a problem with the carpets. But we had carpets put down in here before we even knew we were going to get a dog. And now without us having jobs, we can't just go spending thousands of pounds on wooden floors. But that's something we hope to do in the future. In the meantime, being able to washing a carpet firstly gets rid of the dust mites. It doesn't get rid of the eggs unless you have it at a certain temperature. and I then steam the carpet. But that aside, the Vax just gets rid of everything, and it has been brilliant because he's had a lot of sickness. He even had an upset bum one day. There's been a lot of stains on the carpets in our house that have come out with that Vax, and the carpet would look hideous if it wasn't for that. And we've tried the enzyme sprays. The enzyme sprays were brilliant when he was a puppy, but they haven't worked when he's been sick. Actually, it's been the hardest, but keep going over it with the Vax. It's been brilliant. And the other thing is my Vax? No, not flax. Flash. I'm mixing those two words, aren't I? Flash steam mop. And this is something my friend told me about, and it's just brilliant. It's quite expensive, that's the only thing too. It's a mop without the two things that you get in it, which is the liquid and the disposable cleaner on the bottom. It's just a rod. But you put in a bottle of cleaner, and then you've got what looks like a large sanitary towel on the bottom of it, and you just spray it as you go along. It's just so easy to use and so convenient, and I've loved that. Again, it's just easy to clean the dust. You know, I can grab it, clean around. It's expensive for the replacements, but again, I'll list that for you. The two things I do have here to show you have just been great. This is the first one, and you will be used to seeing this if you watch my vlogs of Watson anyway, because they're usually on the couch, but I've now bought them in purple as well. That's how much I love them. I think they were $24.99 each, maybe $29.99 each. Whatever it was, it's brilliant for the size of them. And obviously I can't show you the size of them, but I've got a 4-seater, very big sofa, and they cover it and then some, like I can tuck it in. I want to cover the whole sofa because Watson is allowed on the sofa. I have to say the little bits of fluff in the air are making me cough. And he gets mud all over them, and they wash. I've washed them so many times and they still look exactly the same. They haven't shrunk. They're just brilliant, and I think that that's a really good price for throws. And I didn't want fluffy ones. I didn't want fleecy throws because we think he might be allergic to that as well. So these are brilliant, and I'll link them for you. The final item is a mat. This is it in half, but I just wanted to show you what it looked like. And it's called a turtle mat. Excuse me, there's fluff everywhere and it's making me cough. My friend told me about these. We email, me and my best friend, she has a dog as well, and she was saying if you haven't tried turtle mats, you need to try them. They're absolutely brilliant. She got them for Christmas and she thinks they're wonderful. So I had a look on Amazon and I got this one for $24.99, and I've ordered another one. That's how brilliant I think it is, already in 2 days. I've put it by my front door now. The problem is I've got a piece of wood on this side of my door because we used to have carpet, and so the carpet was very, very thick and we cut the door down. But then we put wooden floor down and there was a big gap, so we've had to put wood, and it's almost to the bottom, so it doesn't go over the mat, so it's sort of halfway up the hall, looking a bit strange, but that's okay. But it should fit under most doors because look how thin it is. It's extremely thin. But the idea is that it draws moisture out. And so what we've done for the last couple of days is when Watson's come in, I've got him to stand on this whilst drying him. And you can see when he gets off the mat and walks up the hall that he's not, even when we dry his paws, there's always wet up the hall, but there's not with this. It takes out so much of the dirt. So I bought another one, like I said. I'm going to put that at my back door, and I might even buy yet another one, and I'll see if I can get a bigger one and put it in the living room by the curtain, because he sometimes lies there after he's been out for a walk, and that's where I vax a lot, where there's like this muddy space. So then at least I won't have to clean that space, because I have got a throw down there, but it looks a bit odd, and his water and mud just soaks through it, you know. So that is everything. For somebody that wasn't going to do any videos today, I spent a long time doing videos. I don't even know why I wasn't going to video, just I wanted to get other things done on my list, but that's the way that it's turned out. I hope that this was useful for you and interesting. If you've got anything that you recommend for dogs in any way, shape or form, then please do feel free to put it in the comments below for everybody to read. And like I said, I will definitely do you a list. It might mean that this takes a bit longer to put up, because typing out all those things, you know, finding the links on Amazon is actually quite time consuming, but there you go. That's everything. Thank you very much for watching today. I won't list my makeup because I have got a TK Maxx video with all of this makeup on, and I'll list it on that video. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll speak to you soon.